Fatherhood and physical health. In today's video, we're going to explore how a father's health gets impacted in some different areas of his life, such as his physical fitness, his sleep, his stress, and just his overall well-being. And why does this happen? Because of the demands, because of the responsibility of becoming or being a dad, the responsibilities of being a husband, the responsibilities of what the employer has over the employee, or if you're a businessman, the responsibilities of you looking after your business. How do you juggle all of these things, all of these demands, all of these pressures? And then also you got family pressures and societal pressures and demands from each and every area in those in those spaces. You got a demand from your child, you got demands from your wife, or your spouse, you got a demand from your boss, your employee, you got demands as a business owner. This is what I'm trying to say. There's constant demands, constant stresses, constant pressures of trying to perform at your best. But it does take a toll. And there's fathers who are very fit and healthy. There's fathers who are stressed and overweight and suffer depression and anxiety. You get fathers from all walks of life in all types of positions and situations. And this is what I'm going to delve into in today's video. We're going to look more deeper. We're going to go layers deep into the challenges of fathers and their health. So let's look at, first of all, sleep deprivation. When you're a father, what is the most challenging thing is sleep and routine, because when a child comes along, the child creates so much anarchy in terms of your life, because your routine's upside down. It's unpredictable. It's a new venture. There's a new timetable now, and that could throw off your plans, that could throw off your stability, that could throw off your routine. Now you have to cater for your child, and that can affect your sleep, that can affect your health, because now the focus is all driven towards the child's well-being. And that could also impact the quality of your relationship that you have with your spouse. Reason being is because she is also tired and you are also tired. So there's those types of challenges. There's irregular sleep patterns, because depending on what stage of fatherhood that you're at, if you've got a newborn, then of course it's going to disrupt your routine. Reason being is because you're having to do the night feeds, the nappy changes, and just that alone, you'll have so much broken sleep. And that could take a toll on the performance of your work or how you react and respond to people in your relationships. And then there's also physical consequences. Due to lack of sleep, you get fatigued. You've now got a weakened immune system, because your body is not performing at its optimum. When you sleep, you rest, you recover, you recuperate, you rejuvenate. Now when that pattern, that cycle's been broken, so many things get affected around your body. Not just mentally, but also physically. Your immune system becomes weak. You're more prone to getting all types of illnesses, and also psychological illnesses such as anxiety, stress, depression. So these can be the long-term effects of neglected health in fatherhood if you're not mindful about what's happening. And majority of the times, the fathers would just fall into the role but not realizing what's happened around them in terms of their family dynamics. And what I mean by realizing, physically it's obvious, you can see what's happening, but it's actually a slow kill. It's a slow kill to your mind, it's a slow kill to your body. You start to deteriorate unless you're mindful about what's happening to you internally up here and also physically. Because then if you're mindful, then you can do things to make you strong. You can sleep better, you can eat better, you can communicate better, because you're more aware. But that's not going to happen overnight, because you still have to build up awareness, because it's a new situation, it's a new setting in your life of fatherhood. It's going to take you by surprise. This is what I'm trying to say. So these are the sort of things that take place in fatherhood. It's a part of the challenge of growth, because you're changing. You've now leveled up from a singleton to now becoming a responsible man, because now you've got your own tribe to take care of. You got your wife or your partner and your child now, and many more children to come. But also at the same time, there's time constraints, there's restrictions, there's trying to balance your work, your relationships with your spouse, with your child. If you've got business as well, if you're self-employed, how do you juggle that? How much time do you give to your children, your child, your spouse, your business? And usually that's the thing that gets sacrificed as well, because when you give, for example, a lot of time to your work, your relationship suffers because that's been neglected. That needs attention. Or when you give time to your family, your business suffers. Reason being is because you've neglected it. Something's always got to give. And the whole idea is to raise one area to a certain point where it's quite stable, then move on to the other area and bring that up. And then you just continue going back and forth, back and forth, back and forward. You're continually juggling. There's no such thing as stability in all areas. It doesn't work like that. Challenges, that's a part of life. That's the challenge. You have to just keep juggling. And you have to try and find the balance. And when you find that balance, it's only a temporary balance until it goes up or down or up. It's a constant struggle. And that's what growth and life is all about. You're always going to be juggling. You're always going to be in challenges. There's always going to be problems, issues. And you have to accept that. It just means that you have to up your skill. You have to level up. Yeah. And as time goes on, so you've got time restraints, then through time you realize your physical health is deteriorating because you're not exercising enough. You're not going for walks enough. You're not going to the gym enough. You're not exercising at home enough. Then your physical health starts to deteriorate. So when it's deteriorating, your responses are going to be very negative towards your partner, with your child, because you're not at your optimum. You can't respond well to poor health. You can't respond well when you're communicating. You can't respond well because of the fact that you're disheveled. You're just not on form. You've not leveled up. Because you are now being neglected. You've self-neglected yourself, if that makes any sense. So then, as time goes along, you start having health issues. You're overweight now. You're obese. You got back problems. You got knee problems. You got joint problems. Because now you are living a sedentary lifestyle. And this is what happens. That's what I was saying. It's a slow kill. Fatherhood is actually a slow kill if you are not mindful or if you're not aware of what's happening. But you can thrive and survive as well. And fatherhood is there. It can either break you or make you. And the only way it can make you is if you educate yourself, and you have to try, and you have to embrace and accept all the challenges that come with it. And you have to keep on educating yourself. You have to strive for calmness. You have to strive to develop your character to become more mentally resilient, mentally tough and physically tough. And it's continual development. Why is fatherhood any more different than any other area that needs work? Doesn't your business need work? When you go to school, don't you need to put the work in to get the education? When you're trying to exercise in the gym and you're trying to become fitter, stronger, doesn't that need work? So how is fatherhood any different? Fatherhood always needs work. Relationships need work, because if you don't work consistently, then something's going to diminish and deteriorate. So you always have to keep on pushing yourself. But the only difference is you want to do it in such a way where you're getting support from your partner as well, because this is so important, because it's about teamwork. You don't have to do it alone. There is a support system. But you have to utilize that support system, and the way you utilize it is you have to be on form as well. It's not going to be easy. It is a difficult job, but it's got its rewards, because you're setting up generations to come. You're setting up your livelihood. Because the thing is, yes, that there's all these challenges, but it's at the sacrifice of leading a quality life, leaving a legend, a legacy behind after you pass away. So you're actually saving future generations from misery, downfall, depression. You're raising the next generation. So it's not actually about you, it's about your child, it's about your spouse, it's about leaving something impactful behind when you pass away. So you have to put the work in. Think long term. So with fatherhood, it does come with its stresses, its demands. Let's talk about the demands. So there's not a day that goes by that you'll be on demand. Demand to run this errand, demand to do this, demand by your boss, demand, or if you are demanding because you own a business or you run a business, then you have to be the one who's demanding and commanding. So it's juggling the demands from this person, that person, this your child, its needs, their needs and wants. And it can be quite stressful, because if you're trying to take care of yourself, you sometimes have to put yourself to the side. Put yourself to the side, no problem, but don't neglect it. Don't neglect yourself. You do come first, but don't neglect others. And others do come first not all the time, but in some situations, but don't neglect yourself as well. Don't neglect them, don't neglect yourself. So in order to help yourself, you need to help others. But in order to help others, you also have to help yourself. So it goes hand in hand. Whichever way that you look at it, you still have to help yourself, you still have to help them. But you want to be on good form to be able to do that. And that requires you taking care of yourself. And if you don't, then be prepared for a lot of illnesses to come your way, such as high blood pressure, stress, anxiety, mental breakdown, depression. It's all linked. Fatherhood has its challenge. It's a big challenge to get it right. But boy oh boy, when you get it right, it's so beautiful, because you're seeing the rewards. You're reaping the rewards of your actions, because you've been sowing the seeds, you've been working at it, you've been trying your best, and you'll see your family, yourself flourishing. You'll see the quality of your life getting better and better. But it will require work. Like anything else in life, it requires work. And